G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. Let's go and do an experiment. Last week, I think it was Monday, might have been Wednesday, but I think it was Monday, I was proceeding east along Wentworth Street in Glen Innes. As I approached the highway, the New England highway, in front of me there was a black SUV indicating it wanted to turn left. So I'm sort of approaching behind it, slowing down. It was 5 to 5 in the afternoon, what approximates rush hour for Glen Innes. And as I was approaching, I looked towards the south to see what traffic was approaching. I could see there was a car, a red SUV, heading northbound. And I looked back and the black SUV, its brake lights went off and it commenced to move. I thought, okay, that driver has made the decision that they have room to get out onto the highway. I wonder if I can fit there too. So I looked to the south. And while I was looking to the south and deciding, no, that fella's moving too fast for me. In fact, he's probably going to have to adjust his speed in order to accommodate the car in front of me, while performing a controlled braking maneuver. It was designed to pull me up to a halt before I got to the curb line, sort of thing, more or less expecting the space to be empty. While I'm looking down the highway to the south, there was an enormously loud metallic bonk noise. And I thought, my God, I must have gone up onto the pavement and run into a tree or something, or a light pole. Turned my head, and there's the black SUV with its brake lights on, and I've run up its arse. My fault. There's no possible way you can run up the arse of a car that's giving way to the highway traffic unless it's your fault. So yeah, it's my fault. I didn't see with the eyeball that you can't find in my left ear hole, I didn't see the bloody brake lights come back on. As she realised, about the same time I realised, that little red car's going too fast for me to get in front of it, and she's going to have a problem. He's going to have to slow down before he runs up her ass. Well, he didn't run up the lady's ass because she saw what was happening. Muggins here couldn't see, didn't figure it out until it was too late. So I put a little tiny paint chip type ding on her back bumper bar, and I thought that was all I'd done. And all I noticed on my vehicle was that little piece of paint from her bumper bar. And yeah, okay, I'm assuming that my vehicle stopped perhaps 5 centimetres into the space her vehicle was occupying. I don't think it was much more than that, say 2 inches. So yeah, I've run into her back bumper bar, and that has driven her back bumper bar in, probably bent it, and that's probably deformed it upwards. So I don't know, maybe a panel beater can bog it together and spray paint it. Might be only a $150 job. Maybe you'll have to take her back bumper bar off and panel beat it and put it back on. But what I did see was I didn't hit any of her actual body panels. I didn't break any glass. I didn't break any blinker lights or anything like that. And I thought I'd got out of it really, really light. However, today I went to the dump, and on my way home from the dump, yeah, I was pondering again how lucky I was. And I happened to notice that there scraping of the mark, which I don't remember it being quite that big. And I looked closer and I don't remember that bit of metal actually touching the plastic bumper. And then I certainly do not recall that ding, where fairly clearly and obviously my bull bar has come back and it's run into me bonnet. And in fact, if I don't change the angle of the dangle, I'm not going to be able to open my bonnet to do any no thing at all whatsoever. Therefore, we have the nature of an experiment where we have a piece of rope tied around the top end of the bull bar, which gives us kind of like maximum leverage over the anchorage of the bottom end of the bulling of the bar. And we've got a bit of nylon rope, which is phenomenally strong because I've had to actually unsplice a knot that was in one end of it. And that's around a bloody great big humongous tree stump. Conveniently has no tree, so if I pull really hard on this stump, there is virtually no possibility of the tree above it falling down onto me sitting in the car, but there is a fairly high probability that it's going to provide a strong enough anchor point that when I go backwards with 1.5 tons a car very gently in reverse, it's an all-wheel drive, I'm hoping, be able to put just sufficient of a tug onto there that I can sort of bend this interference fit on the bonnet lid. Can you see that there? Yeah, look at that, there it is there. Absolutely no possible way, and get a clearance fit. So I don't think too much in the way of adjustment there. There is no adjustment there. So what I'm going to be endeavouring to do is to bend that bloody tube there, because I've already bent it. First by having the car roll down the bloody driveway and run into a tree, and then by me running up the arse of the lady in the main street. And I thought you might like to watch this procedure. Okay, so we've taken up the slack, so to speak. So to squeak, perhaps, maybe, possibly. Let's put that about there, shall we? And we will see what we shall see. Come out just a little bit to make absolutely sure, and hopefully this won't make too much of a mess and fuck up too badly. Ideally it might even work. Yeah. Yahoo fucking yippee! Guess what worked? And judging by the way it all moved very suddenly into the alignment, I would say I just fixed two different dingle bingle misapplication alignment problems all at the once, or with judicious application of the correct anchor point to the correct place in order to put sufficient force onto these bolts to adjust the angle of the dangle of the every of the thing. And you know what? For a silly old bastard, I feel pretty bloody clever, because that would have taken a day and several $100 worth of somebody else's time if I had to pay somebody to lie down on the ground and undo all those bolts and pull the thing off and put it back on and try and make it fit. There you go. As a man called Neville Shute Norway once said, an engineer is somebody who can do for about 50 cents what any fucking idiot can do for $50. Only he said it in pound, shillings and pence language. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that, because holy shit I did. Never underestimate what you can do with low ratio 4-wheel drive in reverse with a good bit of rope and the stump of a serious style of a stringybark tree as an anchor. If what you want to do is some emergency panel beating, vehicle repairs, call that what you will, but if I hadn't come up with a way of doing that and I wanted to actually check the radiator water or the oil or the battery or anything else, I was going to have to go and pay somebody half a day's work to figure out how to do it. So isn't it a good thing that I'm not as silly as I look? Sometimes the experiments turn out really, really well. And you know what? I reckon that is a bloody good result. Fix it in 15 minutes with a bit of old rope. So let that be a lesson to ye in self-reliance and self-sustainability. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao. He says after buying store-bought alcohol through a mass-produced can. Funny that, isn't it?